Hello, anyone, everyone, and no one. Welcome to, circuits you need to know in Minecraft. You see, I've been playing Minecraft for quite a while now. And this world just doesn't reflect it good enough. It just doesn't reflect it good enough. I've went through many, many worlds doing many, many experiments. And you know what I've learned most of all? There's a few key things in this game you need to know how to do. And as a matter of fact, we're going to go over 5 of them today. 5 redstone circuits, devices, builds that you absolutely need to know. Let's go, shall we? So the first thing I would say that you absolutely positively need to know how to build is a minecart unloader. There are so many farms in this game that rely on them, from mob farms to fish farms. If you think of it and you can farm it, you potentially need a minecart unloader to take care of it. Now, this is pretty much as simple as it can get for minecart unloaders. What we got going on here is a couple hoppers feeding into a chest right here. We got a comparator taking a output from this back hopper. When it detects that there is an item inside of there, it powers this block, which shuts off this redstone torch, which in turn will shut off this redstone dust. So what this means is if we throw some items inside of here and we push this little baby along forward, go forward, it will come down, bounce off the wall, it will stop, it will unload its items. When it's done, the torch will repower, which will repower the dust, which will repower the block. Minecart will bounce back and continue back on its way, just like so. Now, some of you may be going, well, Slack, why don't you just build this thing a block lower down? Well, I'm just going to say Bedrock on that one, because sometimes you'll get some items collected from your farm here, and they will go forward. Come on, you please go forward. And it doesn't stop in the right position. That's why I like to elevate the thing coming down on an incline. Okay, that one worked. Most of the time, it will not. So what I would suggest is if you want one of these, have it on a little bit of an elevation incline. Short, simple, easy, and to the point. Moving along from the minecart unloaders, the next thing that you will absolutely positively need to know, or should already know how to make, is called auto droppers here. Why are auto droppers important? Well, let's use, for example, a goat farm. There's many things from a goat farm you want, aka goat. But there's many things from a goat farm you don't want, aka rotten flesh. Yes, I know. Yes, you can trade it. It's pointless in my opinion. So this thing is a super simple here. We have a dropper with a comparator in the back, which will take a redstone signal output from the items inside of the dropper, which goes into a repeater, which makes that signal full strength, which feeds back into the comparator, which compares the signal. And we have another one over here going around to a repeater over here powering this block. So what happens is items get delivered into the system, it detects the signal, and it powers back upon itself, and it will auto eject the items. Now this one's great. It's fabulous. I absolutely love this. It will completely empty the dropper, but the problem with this one is it's relatively slow. While if we come over here to this one, which is pretty much the same design. We got a dropper, we got a block, we got a comparator in subtract mode here. And what it's doing is powering this block here, going all the way back and powering this block here. Now, this one here is a little bit different. This one does not kick off instantly. It takes a little bit to build up to get in there, but once it does, it really fires out the items. This one's nice in case you accidentally run something into your system you didn't mean to destroy. You might have a chance that you could recover it back out of here. But if we compare the two here, there's no comparing. That one there is super fast. That one there, a little bit on the slower side. This one will completely drain the system. That one will not. Next on our list of things that you should absolutely positively know how to build is redstone clocks. Now, there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of ways that you can build these. The most simplest of these things is a repeater clock right here, which how this thing works is when we flip this lever, this redstone torch is going to come on, which is going to power this repeater, which will power this block, dust, and back into the block, and so on and so forth. It will repeat over and over and over, which means we can get a consistent signal output from this, depending on the speed of which we set these repeaters to. Very, very, very simple. totally adjustable. So this one right here is now on a 6-tick delay. So every 6 ticks, you're going to get a pulse coming out from this thing right here. Another example here would be a comparator clock. We simply got a comparator in subtract mode feeding back into itself. So it's comparing the signal strength of what's going into it versus what is coming out of it. In that essence, when we turn this thing on, the signal strength starts out here, drops down, gets slower, says it's slower, and it's going to keep firing off a circuit over and over and over again. As you can see, that one is more of a fast clock. And then, of course, here's another example of one that is on-offable, relatively easy. We got a couple sticky pistons. We got an observer. When we flip this switch here, the observer goes up. It detects there's a change, powers this block, and then we're going into repeaters, and we can take variant outputs from this to run multiple farms or multiple systems or whatever you need to run from this. Very, very simple, very, very basic. You need to know how to build them. You never know when you're going to need one. And if you're looking for a more in-depth tutorial on Redstone Clocks, I have a video on my channel, which I will link up above. Next on the list of things, this is a classic. Everybody needs this. You need this in your world. If you're playing any Minecraft, you need to know how to build an item sorter. Just your basic everyday run-of-the-mill item sorter. Now, the one that I personally like to build is by a friend of mine called Mad Hatter, who does a lot of technical stuff for Bedrock. As a matter of fact, there'll be a link in the top right-hand corner for more of his stuff. I suggest you go check it out. But an item sorter, really, really simple. Say you're wanting to go mining and you're wanting to gather up some resources, but you don't want to spend 37 years emptying out your inventory after the fact. So what do we got going on here? Well, we got a chest where we can drop off all of our items from our mining session going into a hopper line. This hopper line goes over to an overflow chest here for anything that does not go into the system. But here we got hoppers pointing into absolutely nothing, filled up with randomly named items. Why? Because we don't want to be putting those items into the system because they will break the system. So, and then we got our filter item, which in this case is stone. And this one over here, it's cobblestone. Now, as you can see here, this one is actually filling up at the moment until I go and look in it. Now, it should be this one. So what is going on here? Well, the comparator is taking a signal strength from this hopper here. When it detects that there is more than 41 items in there, excluding the sticks, it powers this block here, which in turn will power this dust, that dust, that dust, and will flip this torch off. While that torch is off, it'll suddenly be like, oh, there's an extra item in here. Let's put that down into our system, which is absolutely great. They are amazing. If you are not using item sorters, you should be. Really simple. So time saving. You could take this and extend this out as far as you want, and you could sort as many items as you want. Stone, cobblestone, diorite, granite, everything. You must know how to build them. You must. Speaking of item sorters, there's another thing that you should absolutely know how to do with item sorters as well, and that is remove non-stackable items. Say you've got yourself a zombie spawner, okay? And for some reason you're wanting to save a rotten flesh. Well, we've changed out this filter here to rotten flesh. So slowly but surely, all of this rotten flesh will be going into here and dumping into this chest. Now, me personally, I would just run that thing, directly into one of those auto droppers right here. We just connect a hopper or two up top, and rotten flesh could just go bye-bye and into the void. But for some reason, you want to save it. Okay, now you're saving it, okay? But you don't want to deal with all the armor and bits and bobs that get dropped from that as well. So, a non-stackable item filter works exactly the same as a stackable, except it's just up one block higher, and that is not a filter block. Not a filter block at all. It is just a regular hopper. No filters at all. No filters at all. And as you can see, all of our bits and bobs that were not stackable ended up in there. And of course, you got all the rotten flesh you could want in there. And anything that is not being filtered, aka not rotten flesh, not cobble, ends up over here. There's our wood planks. Yay! Good talk. Last but not least, the simplest of redstone circuits that you need to absolutely know. A pulse extender. A pulse extender, which is as simple as a comparator going into a block, back out into redstone dust, into another comparator, back over, and feeding back upon itself. Now, if we press this button here, as we can see, the signal starts slowly diminishing over time. Now, you can extend this pulse out quite a long ways. Quite a long ways. Pretty much as far as you want to get a pulse that goes for an extended period of time. Why is this important? Why is this important? Let me show you. What we got here is the fanciest, most high-tech redstone door you could ever see. No, it's literally just a couple pistons, holding some blocks over there powered by a torch. So say we want to go through our door, we push the button, we're like, yay, we're going home. Excuse me, I want to go home. I want to go home, please. Can I go home? And it's like, oh, nope, denied. Over and over and over again. But if we put a repeater there behind this, we now have a lot longer. See, that's still on. We can walk through here. We can come through the other side before it even cuts off. Amazing. There's so many things you can do with it. So many different things you can do with these. It's just possibilities are unlimited. But I think that right there is where I'm going to go ahead and call this a video. If you've enjoyed today's video, make sure to drop a like. If you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing and join the Discord. And if you have any ideas you want to see for videos, drop them down below. But on that note, that's where we're going to call it, and I'll catch all of you all in the next one. Bye, everybody.